my head and my hands. I've been gone so long, I can't remember where I've been. I'm thinking about back at home, my family and friends, my brothers don't know that I'm there till the end. It's one thing that we all know. It's one thing we all know. No man is left behind. You'll see me once, you'll see me twice. I fought alongside my brothers. No man is left behind. Staring out over empty, see the broken ground. Standing here all alone. All alone in a crowd. It's one thing that we all know. It's one thing we all know. No man is left behind. You'll see me once, you'll see me twice. I fought alongside my brothers. No man is left behind. You'll see me 1,000 times. I fought alongside my brothers. No man is left behind. No man's left behind.
From the United States of Texas, welcome to another edition of TTR Rev Nation, where we grease the squeaky wheels of socialism with liberal tears. Tonight, I'm joined by Chris Russell from the Daily Brief. Our normal crew is not here tonight. I'm going to give a little explanation. Shannon Book is currently tonight getting ready. He's at the Vet Fest there in Round Rock. Now, the Vet Fest is something awesome. If you've never been to one, go support our veterans. They do a lot of good work. He's at the OP Vet Fest, and his new band will be debuting tomorrow, I believe around 15:30 Central Standard Time. So please go out and support Shannon and his new band. I've known the name for a while, and it's great to see him back in the swing of things. It's Deliberately Broken. Shannon Book at the Vet Fest there in Round Rock. Bud and Amanda are on family vacation, and Jared, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family as we go on tonight. Chris, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing excellent, man. Doing excellent.
There's a lot of things been going on. We have not been live for 2 weeks. I am a new grandfather, and it's just it's amazing. It is. I've not held a baby in my arms since Tyler was a baby, so it's been 17 years, and it's amazing. I've got my little Lily ladybug, and she's entertained me for the past 2 weeks. We got her out of NICU, and mama's safe, and yeah, it's just, you can just see me beaming right now. I'm a grandfather. I can't believe it. But
congratulations, man.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Reba. Thank you for the comments. We've got a lot to announce tonight, but first, Chris, if you would give us a little rundown of what's going on with the Daily Brief, brother, in your life.
Well, we're just trying to crank out the stories and, expose the lies of the liberal left and the Democrats, and, a lot of things are happening there. We've got more subscribers coming on, which thank you to all the people that support us, which is a huge help to us. And, we're just trying to do what we can to just build up America, and speak the truth, just speak the truth. I mean, that's our number one goal, speak the truth. So
there's not enough of that going on. There's just not. And the mainstream media is just there. It's almost to the point of being hilarious. And, thank God we've got OAN, people like Christina Bobb and Dan Ball that support not only America, but they support TTR Rev Nation and the VRS crew. Good bunch of people. And Christina Bobb is just, her and Chanel Rion have done phenomenal work with all of the voter fraud that's being covered up.
And that's one of the things that we've focused on, is the voter fraud and all of that. And I can honestly say we are happy to partner with you guys and support you guys and be your friends. I can honestly say that we're happy to be your friends.
Well, speaking of partnering, big announcement. We put it on Facebook. And first of all, I want to say Friday night is the worst time slot in the history of time slots for a live show, because everybody's going back out. They can go to the bars and go out to eat. They're taking their family out, their wives out, etc. But I want to thank the thousands of people. Literally, Chris, I'm overwhelmed. On average, about 5,000 people a week that go back and watch our show. So thank you, Rev Nation. Thank you guys for sharing it. We can't do this without y'all. And please share Chris's show as well. The Daily Brief is just a phenomenal show. And just thank you. But speaking of sharing, we have a big announcement here on TTR Rev Nation tonight. Chris, if you would allow me 1 second here. We are now going to partner with, I don't even know how to say this with my face right now. They reached out today, the Common Sense Broadcasting Network. If you're not familiar with them, please go check them out. The CSBN.com or CSBC.com. They have numerous shows. Did you know? M on Fire, Where Policy Meets Politics, The Migraine Report, just numerous shows. We're going to be part of that. And after the first of the year, I don't even know how to say this with my face right now, Chris, we're going to be on TV. And so the Rev Nation, the bearded wonders of and the most American woman alive are going to be on live TV, and we are so glad you're going to be part of that. Just so glad. And I don't even know how to express my gratitude. We've been doing this a long time, and it's finally, everything's coming to fruition, and it makes me happy that people want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
And and we may not be the most PC savvy individuals on TV and radio, but you know what? We speak truth, and we speak from the heart. And that's all I can say about that. So TTR Rev Nation, we will be broadcasting on the Common Sense Broadcast Network. We will be on AM, FM, radio, internet, and television as well. So details to follow. We'll give you all the links. And I'm overly excited. Now, the earth-shattering news, and I was texting Yvette right up until the time we got on here. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? My name is Todd Snelling, and I'm tired of what's going on in America. And I'm proud to announce that I'm throwing my name in the hat for the 143rd Congressional District here in the great state of Texas. I will be running for office in 2024. That is, we've said it on the show numerous times that we're going to put our money where our mouth is. I just can't stand by and watch it anymore, Chris. And the individual that I'll be running against, John said, I knew it. And, Yvette and I talked about this a bunch. Yvette and I are both elected delegates here in the state of Texas. And, we've done what groundwork we can do, and it's time to take the next step and do what we can. I look at things the way they are now, and it's unreal. We are the mecca of oil and gas in the state of Texas. I would venture to say in the United States, right here in the Houston area. And we are paying over $3 a gallon for gas. Day one, he took with the swipe of a pen, and he took 64,000 jobs away from my brothers and sisters. And I've been doing this a long time, pipeline. I've been a pipeliner a long time. 64,000 jobs. And without getting into the company that I work for, I pump barrels of oil, hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil to Canada on a daily basis. We are taking our oil and our gas and shipping it everywhere, and we are no longer energy independent. So that will be one of the things that I run on, Chris. The other thing is, if you're in the area here in Houston, if you've ever been to DeBakey, the VA is just, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a crap show. It really is. It's horrible. And we're going to do everything we can. We've got resources. We've got people that we know that we can, from the inside, that we can actually do some good. And I'm looking at the voting record from Miss Ana Hernandez, and she won on special election in 2005. She has run unopposed several times, and that is the last Democratic seat in our area. If we can flip that, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So we're going, VA reform. And I know people talk and say, and, this, that, and the other thing. But I'm going to tell you, I'm me. I'm not going to change my views, my morals. I'm not going to change anything. And I've had several people talk to me about the heartbeat bill. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm all about it. And, if you don't like it, so be it. I am all about oil and gas, the energy industry. It's put bread on my table for decades, and I will continue to fight for that. And the VA reform, there's nothing. If you're a veteran listening to the show, it needs some reform. So and just local issues that really won't affect a whole lot of people listening to the show. But Daniel, you need to run, brother. You listen to the show for a long time. I wish you would run. Daniel's got some really good ideas. He's been a friend of the show for a long time. But those are our big announcements. TTR is going to broadcast on CSBC. We're going to be live on television, radio, and internet. And regular guy is going to run. He's going to run. We're going to run for the 143rd Congressional District here in the great state of Texas. And that's our big news tonight. I think that's a whopper.
It's definitely a whopper. That's huge, man. I didn't even know about you running until you told me like 5 minutes before we got on. That's huge. That's awesome, man. But
thank you. Yvette and I have been talking about it for a long time, and like I said, we've been in the political process. She actually worked on Huckabee's on his campaign. We both worked on Trump's campaign and actually got invited to the White House for the inauguration. And it's time. It's past time actually. And I didn't want to do this, but making memes and being on the radio, that's great. But it's time to it's time to take action. So anyways, man, there's a lot of things that have gone on this week, brother. Woo! I don't even know where to begin. One quick thing I'd like to talk about is the United States Postal Service, and they're apparently they're not going to take the jab. So the the American Postal Workers Union has said, not no, but hell no. We're not going to do it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Aren't they part of the government?
Yeah, they are, but I think it's also the union, right? It's the union that doesn't want to take the jab.
Definitely, the union. Well, they had enough people, to say no, we're not going to, and you can't force us. And they stomped their hands or stomped their feet and clapped their hands and said, no, we're not going to do it. Good for them. Good for them. They pay their union dues. I'm not a big union guy because I live in a right to work state.
Right.
Now, when I did work on the East Coast, I used to hang iron, and I also worked pipeline and everything like that on the East Coast. So yes, the union more on the East Coast is more prevalent than it is here in the state of Texas. Now, we've got the oil companies. I'm not going to mention their names, but we do have the oil companies here in this area that are union, and they do drive our wages up. So I'm glad for that. Every time they strike and gripe and moan, our pay goes up. So, but my whole thing with that is Chris is they are still a government entity, union or not. They are still a government entity, and they're throwing the middle finger up at Biden, saying, "I don't think so."
Yeah, and I think because it's people, whether it's government or not, it's people. You're seeing the same thing with you saw the same thing with Southwest, where we're not talking government, but you're talking government oversight, government control. And
Yes,
Southwest said, you know what? No, we don't want to take the jab. We want to have a right to choose whether we take it or not. And they pushed back, and look what happened.
Yep.
They backed down.
Yes, they did.
If you get enough people to actually stand up and push back, there's going to be either they're going to back down or they're going to push harder. And then that determines whether the people are going to push harder and say, wait a minute, no, we're going to get more people on board and see how far this actually goes.
It's and I did a little research. You know me, I like to kill trees and print things out, and that's what I do. So digging into the American Postal Workers Union, do you know in 2020, the election cycle, they okay, Reba, I love what you have to say here, and we're going to get into that here in a little bit. My body, my choice. I agree with you 100%. Now, where we may differ is the abortion issue, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Okay, so anyways, back to the American Postal Workers Union. 2 out of 5 American postal workers, the union lobbyists in 2020, have previously held government jobs.
I didn't know that.
Do you know the total contributions that went to the Biden administration in 2020 election cycle?
No. What is it?
$1,415,434 went to the DNC to put Biden into office. Now, on top of that, they spent another $810,000 lobbying for, various agendas.
Yeah.
But I get back to the fact that they are a government entity.
Yeah. And I'd be interested in knowing what is that in percentage? What is that in percentage to the total of what could have gone out?
Okay, it's funny that you bring that up. Okay, from the organization, 97.9 from the union, 97.95% of their money went to the 2020 election cycle. Almost 98%.
Went to the DNC.
That is correct. Now, it went to the Democratic Congressional Committee campaign, the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, the DNC Services Corporation, Joe Biden, AOC, Raphael Warnock, which is one of my favorite people on the planet, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And just to be fair, $25 of it went to the Trump campaign.
Yeah.
So
I like to look at those percentages because it kind of puts things in perspective. Because I have people say to me, they're like, "Oh, well, they only donated a million or this or that." And it's like, well, no. When you put it in perspective of percentages, they donated almost 100% of what they could have donated.
yes.
So when you put it in those perspectives, it's like if they had more, they could have donated more. They
no
donated
doubt.
everything they could.
Yes.
To the
Yes.
Democrats.
It's unreal when you think about it. And okay, now we're just talking about one entity. Now think about all of the unions, the teachers unions, and we'll get into CRT here after a bit because that's one of my favorite topics. But the teachers union, I did not get into the amount that they spent, but it was to have a hard figure in front of me, I don't know, but it was more than the postal workers union. So, and it's agenda based. There's no doubt. But now you look now. If I go to the post office and I want to mail you something, Chris, I have to wear a mask.
Yep.
The delivery drivers who touch our mail every day do not have to wear one. They don't have to take the jab. They don't have to take weekly tests. I don't believe in any of that crap, but the hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Yeah. And the thing that kills me is with this whole thing is they're still pushing this, and now they're pushing the booster shot.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they're pushing. Why would we go do something that didn't work the first time? Why would we do it a second time?
Or a third or a fourth.
Or third or fourth
Yeah.
or fifth. This is ridiculous. And then they're going to mandate and you remember, I was just watching the clips. of Biden saying we can't mandate the vaccine. We can't mandate the jab. I watched all of those clips and said, oh, no, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. The federal government can't do that. And now he's coming out saying the mandates work, but yet they don't work because the jab doesn't work.
But how many people realize the difference between a mandate and a law?
Yeah.
A mandate is not a law.
It's not a law.
Yeah. And the fact that he's mandating this goes against everything written in the Constitution that our forefathers put forth for us to run this country by. You can say it's an outdated document all you want. I disagree.
Oh yeah.
That our Constitution was built on the principles of not only God but of free men.
Yeah.
And we are at a turning point right now in our country. And if we don't do something soon, this little bit of freedom that people are getting back,
and you've got to look at the wisdom of when they were actually writing the Constitution, right? They looked at all of these other nation states around them, and they actually looked at their constitutions. They looked at their laws. They looked at how they're governed, and they actually took all of that into account and then said, let us form a more perfect union.
Yes.
And they did. I mean, just the whole thing with the electoral college, the wisdom that was used there. If you just have majority vote, then California pretty much rules the entire country.
Yeah.
The liberals in California will
Ooh.
pretty much rule the entire country. And places like Alabama, North Dakota, South Dakota, all of these other places that don't have as many votes or as many people won't actually get a voice.
Yes.
But it's the wisdom of these men that looked at all of these other systems and said, you know what? There has to be a better way than just pure democracy, a democratic republic, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And we are not a democratic. We are a republic.
Right.
And that's, it was actually written in the Constitution, when they started doing this. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do the comments and everything. I'm used to Amanda and Shannon and Jared being here, so I'm trying to do everything here. But it was written in the Constitution that if the government, basically, I'm going to paraphrase, if it got too big, it's time for everybody in the nation to put their big boy panties on and take over. And we are damn near at that point, Chris. No, I'm not going to say we're damn near. We are at that point.
No, we're definitely at that point, and I think
Yeah.
that's like I was saying to you before, like people like you running, just normal people that say like I've had enough. I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna take our country back. That's what it's all about, and that's what the founding fathers intended.
Yes.
Is for all of us to be able to throw our hats into a race or throw our hats into this electoral system, into our governmental framework, and be governed and orchestrated by the Constitution and by the laws of the land, so that anybody could go in there and say, you know what, I want to make a difference in my country because I love America.
And that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And I keep saying we because this was a family decision, and it's a huge decision. It really is. And I'm excited. I'm excited, and I'm nervous, excitedly nervous, I guess. I've never done anything like this before, but I truly, Chris, and help me out here, because I truly think if more people ran and said, look, this is me. This is what I believe in. I believe in the United States of America. I believe in the morals, in the rights that we've been given, the inalienable rights that we've been given. It's time to stand up and take this thing back. Yeah. And I really think that if there were more people to do that, and, whether we win or we don't, hopefully, God willing, we win. But the message will get out there, and I can't help but think that now is the time, and this is the right thing to do. Getting back to the post office thing here, Biden's executive order mandating, there's that word again, the vaccines for federal workforce took a somewhat narrow definition of agencies that carved out the United States Postal Service. The United States Postal Service said it would determine whether the rule would apply to their agency or not. So my question to you would be is, okay, so he said companies with 100 people or more, you have to have this. Well, if a government entity can say, I don't think so, why can't the rest of the nation?
And they can. They can. It's really up to the companies whether they want to fight it or not. I think every company that has more than 100 employees should fight it. Just even if that company agrees with the mandate, they should fight it on the premise of you have the federal government coming into your workplace, into your business, and on a whim, without a law, because a mandate is not the same as a law, without a law, saying you will obey our decree, you will obey what we say. And everybody can say what they want, but we're not talking about a law here. We're not talking about something that was drafted by the state government. We're not talking something that was drafted by the federal government and enacted as a law. We're talking about a mandate by a president that when he leaves office will be null and void. When a new president comes in, it'll be null and void. So you're talking on the premise of a leader acting almost as a dictator, saying you will do this or else we will charge you money. We will give you fines.
And you look at that or you say that, and I'm looking at this. It says the COVID-19 vaccination requirements included in the White House executive order issued on September 9th, 2021, for federal employees do not apply to the Postal Service. It also does not apply to the Congress or any White House staff. It's incredible. And I'm sitting here, and there again, they are a government entity. The head of the USPS said they don't even know who among the workforce have been vaccinated. They don't have a clue. They haven't tested. They don't know. It's wow.
And here's the thing: is the hypocrisy of the federal government saying, certain people in the federal government or certain people here or even in the postal workers don't have to get vaccinated, but yet all of these other companies, if you don't do it, you face fines of thousands of dollars a week for not getting vaccinated. It's the sheer hypocrisy of the entire thing.
Yeah, it's wow. I'm looking at Ursula here. She said, "Why would anybody support a 5-time draft dodger?" I'm assuming that you're referring to Trump, but your facts are quite skewed, just respectfully. But anyways, it's. Did you know that the USPS employees have taken 6.7 million hours of time off authorized under a COVID-19 relief bill? And they also get to spend up to 15 weeks on paid leave to deal with issues related to the pandemic.
Wow. No, I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me. And I one of the things that when you're talking about people taking time off work, and it kind of makes me think about the people that are not going back to work because of Biden's, unemployment benefits and all of that, which just ran out. So we'll see what happens with that, if they end up doing an extension or if they somehow find a way to get these people back on unemployment. But you have when I was listening to Biden the other day when he was giving a press conference, and he was saying, basically it's not easy and all of this stuff, and even if they were to use our reserves here for gas, it'd maybe lower the gas price by 10% or 10 cents or 15 cents, something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, when Trump was in office, okay, and this is for whoever doesn't like Trump. When Trump was in office, okay, you had low gas prices. You had using oil and gas from here in the country, so we were becoming independent. Okay, the problem, even in Biden's statement, the problem was in Biden's statement. He's like, oh, well, if I lowered it 10 cents, well, then we'd have to look at, one of these Middle Eastern countries. And he names one of the Middle Eastern countries. I don't remember which one he says, but the problem is we're depending on these countries when we have plenty of oil and gas here. Why aren't we offshore drilling? Why don't we have drilling here in the U.S.? We have tons of oil.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we get all our oil from OPEC, but then we end up shipping all of our oil from here over to places like Canada and other places. It doesn't make any sense.
And no, it doesn't.
It baffles my mind the way they orchestrate this. But Trump got low gas prices, energy independence, and at the same time, low unemployment while keeping inflation in check. And usually if you have inflation in check, you have high unemployment. It's called the Phillips curve in economics. And if you have high unemployment, you have low inflation. And so Trump was able to master both of that and keep it both in check. And we had a great economy.
And I'm so tired of hearing about the mean tweets, this, that, and the other thing. But here's the thing is, you can say what you want about Trump, and I'm not riding his jock. I'm just saying it was the most transparent White House we ever had, ever, like in the history of ever.
Without a doubt.
And you knew what was on his mind. You knew what he's going to do. And if you didn't like it, he didn't care. And that's one thing that I really respect about him. I mean, any politician, we have our likes and dislikes, but I go down the checklist and there's a lot of likes, for not just the man, but the way he ran things. We flourished as a country. We had more money in our bank account. Gas prices were lower. And you know what? Our oil and gas industry still made it. It's amazing. It's very amazing.
And that's the thing. And Reba, that's the thing, is he told it straight, just like you said, is he told it straight. And for all conservatives, for Republicans, for conservatives, that's what we want. Everybody was like, wow, I don't have a problem. He told it straight. That's a great thing. But for Democrats and for a lot of liberals, they had a hard time with that. They don't want people to tell it straight, because what they want is they want to push a narrative, their narrative, whatever their narrative is, that's what they want to push. And that's usually not the truth. As a matter of fact, it's almost never the truth.
They work on smoke and mirrors, brother.
Yeah, smoke and mirrors.
It's unreal. And, this is just one of the things that happened this week. Now, I'm jumping to a completely different subject here. If you're listening to the show, you know how we flourished under Trump. You know that. And if you don't know, then please take the rock you're living under, push it away, and get from up under it. Okay, that's just the way it is. And it's not that I'm like into Trump hero worship or anything like that. I'm all about my bank account and my family, not in that order. And our family and our bank accounts flourished under a Trump administration.
Absolutely.
Whether you liked him or not, Democrat, Republican, Independent, you flourished. Period.
Yep.
Okay, so I want your thoughts here, sir, on the hypersonic missile test, the Sputnik moment that happened here. And I've got a couple quotes from General Miley Cyrus, whatever his name is, Mr. CIT or CRT woke dude. But this is amazing. The fact that this is even going on. And, we can go back to Trump for that too. We didn't hear a peep out of China. Our goods are being sold over there. We didn't hear a peep out of North Korea for 4 years. He told him, says, look, this is it. Hey, you ain't messing with the U.S. And now look, North Korea and China are right back at it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that you see is you see a weak president. So these world leaders are looking at a weak president, and they know that there's nothing that's going to be done. When Trump was in office, okay, and I'm not this big guy. I'm trying to get Trump and all this stuff.
Yes.
Listen, when Trump was in office, they knew they could not get away with stuff. They knew that there was going to be some retaliation, whether it was going to be, like he did with ISIS and the terrorists dropping the what was it called? The
Moab, mother of all bombs.
The Moab.
Yep.
You're right. Yeah. Dropping Moab on them. Or if it was going to be, some sort of economic retaliation like he did with China. Okay, they knew there was going to be something that would happen, but they know they're dealing with a weak president. They're dealing with Democrats who are so worried about fighting fights that don't matter. Yeah. I mean, they're pressing all these issues that don't matter with the American people, and they don't get us ahead internationally or nationally. So they're not worried. They're just like, well, these guys are idiots over there that are running the show, because the Democrats are running the show. And they're going to start testing missiles. They're going to start talking with North Korea. They're going to start doing all of these things. And that's exactly what they've done. They know they don't have anybody to fear in the White House. I mean, Joe Biden is a houseplant. He's not even, he's barely alive. and he has no idea what's going on, and he's not running the show. That's a fact. He's
Oh,
not
he's a
running.
lapdog, no doubt. No
He's a
doubt.
lapdog. So I can't actually. I mean, I don't even blame him, to be honest with you.
No. No. If I were a world leader, you're damn right. I would be doing exactly what they're doing if I were in their position, because he's afforded that opportunity.
Yeah,
He's given them the opportunity to use us as a welcome mat.
and I think the Chinese spokesman that came out and said, this is just routine testing. uh, you know, and you when you look at this administration and in basically saying, oh well, it's kind of concerning. Is their rhetoric, is their
Yeah.
language that they're using? Yeah, this is no. This should be very concerning. Uh,
It happened twice.
it happened twice. Yeah.
Yes.
I,
Wow.
it's a very scary thing because you're talking about an economy that literally is going to outpace ours at some point. Everything is bought from China. Everything is bought from China.
Unless you make it a point not to.
Yeah, they will own the world pretty soon.
Yeah.
They will own the world pretty soon if they're not stopped. I mean, you have them going into places like Cuba and other places with their infrastructure and road project, and literally giving nations money and then saying we want to build bases or get access to your power grids or your infrastructure. And they're doing this worldwide. This is a program, you look into it, the Chinese road building infrastructure program is what it's called. And they're
in
getting
other nations.
they're getting nations indebted to them so that they own the nations.
What is it? Jamaica? Jamaica, they built an airport there in Jamaica, did they not?
Yeah. I don't remember offhand if they built one in Jamaica, but I know there's a lot of nations they're going into.
Yeah.
And, they're not just going in out of the kindness of their heart. They're not just saying, well, let us build you billions of dollars in infrastructure. Okay, power plants to make sure that everything's okay for you, and then we're just going to leave. They want something. They want some forward operating bases. They want some intelligence. There's something they want, and it's all to make sure that they have a strategic advantage around the world. That is what that is for.
Not only that, but it gets back to what Reba was talking about, and this is a whole nother subject right here with the NWO. That is happening before your very eyes, folks. If you don't believe in the Bible, if you don't believe in the Lord and Jesus Christ, your Savior, I'm sorry, but here we go. Here's my infamous but. You can, if you want to look at it from a historical or a Nostradamus type deal, the Bible. Folks, we're living the book of Daniel. We're living the book of Revelation right now. We are living it right now. And yes, the NWO they are within arm's reach right now of taking over everything.
Yeah, it's pretty scary what's happening. And I'm glad that people are waking up. But I'm hoping that it's not, people aren't waking up too late.
That's what I was going to ask you. You think it's too little too late?
Sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes I get down and I feel like, man, maybe it's too little too late. But then I remember there are some battles that we're winning. So I hope it's not.
And, it's going to take the people, the you and the I and folks like us getting on the radio, getting the word out, running for office. It's going to take the little guys like us to take the nation back.
Absolutely.
And, it's wow. We're almost at the top of the hour already, brother. I enjoy having you on the show. It's awesome because everything you talk about is just, you're just a good radio host. So, Chris, real quick before we get to the top of the break, if you would tell people where they can find you other than TTR Rev Nation, and when and where.
Absolutely, yeah. You guys can find me over at www.thedailybrieftdb.com. You can also find me over at my show, the Chris Russell Show, which can be heard on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts. It can be heard there. So, and as always, you can find me on Facebook, the Chris Russell Show. You can find me on Gab, Twitter, pretty much anywhere.
Anywhere they don't censor. So,
well, they do. I had somebody the other day send me, I was talking to one of my listeners, and they sent me something on the jab. And as soon as they sent it to me, within minutes, it said, this has been, eliminated or whatever. And so
yes.
I texted the person and I said, I'm sorry, whatever you sent me was taken off. And, so they tried sending it again. It was taken off again. And they're like, I want you to read it on your show. I'm like, I would, but they taken it off. So, I tell people, if you're going to send me something, probably the place to send it would be on Gab or something like that, because they don't censor there, or Parler or someplace like that.
And
Facebook and Twitter,
yes,
they will censor it. If their algorithm picks it up, if something picks it up, it's gone before I can even read it.
And that's the beautiful thing about us going to the CSBC Communications Group, Common Sense Broadcasting Network. Please jump over there. They've got some beautiful shows. And one of my favorite country artists, if you get on their website, one of my favorite country artists of all time, had the best voice ever, is Keith Whitley. They're going to have the Keith Whitley show on there as well. So, Reba, thank you. We love you too. Thank you for listening. Please share the show. Tim, you've been listening for a long time. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Reba said the Gab is awesome. Tim, Rev all day. Yes, sir. We will be here every week. Same Rev time, same Rev channel. We are not going anywhere, because we are going to do what we always do at this time of the show. We're going to go to the dumbass of the week. And right now, the reigning champion is Joe Biden since January 20th, 2021. But can he be dethroned?
I think it'd be pretty hard.
This week right here, an Amish teen. Oh, let me I'll tell you what. Let me find his picture real quick, then we'll get back to the comments. Here we go. Is facing driving under the influence charges after an officer stopped his traveling horse and buggy and reportedly found him passed out inside. New women. Chris, this is hard to outdo it every week. But anyways, New Wilmington police have charged 19-year-old Enos S. Blyer of 129 Leesburg Station Road following the stop that occurred at 1:30 a.m. on October 8th, Route 208 in the New Wilmington borough. According to a criminal complaint, a Westminster College public safety officer notified the police that he had passed a horse and buggy going west and saw a male driver who was apparently unconscious. Back and forth, yada, yada, yada. His name is Byler. He agreed to a blood alcohol test, which, according to a hospital report, blew it in half. He had a blood alcohol level of 0.162%. How is he alive? He is now facing the legal percent. I'm sorry, in Pennsylvania is 0.08. Byler faces 3 counts of. How does this even happen? I don't even know what to say to my face right now. 3 counts of driving under the influence. He's in a horse-drawn buggy. So, are you technically driving?
I don't know. It's a wheeled.
Well, yeah, the ass end of it is, but the driving mechanism is a 4-legged animal. So, I mean, yeah, you can
got horsepower.
See what you did there. Oh my God. Byler faces 3 counts of driving under the influence, including DUI. Wouldn't that be an HUI, horsing under the influence? I don't know. But a DUI is a minor, and 1 count each of purchasing alcoholic beverages as a minor and disregarding a flashing red signal. He was sent a summons to appear in court on charges. Oh my God, it kind of makes me think of that Amish Mafia show that was on TV. Jesus, that was funny. That was so funny. Reba, thank you very much. I'm a very proud grandfather. I am on air right now, and it is so hard not to go in there and grab my little baby granddaughter and hug her face. Michelle, how you doing tonight? I tell you, your husband's beard is amazing. I have beard envy. Let's see here. I think the winner should be the dummy that threatened a congressman. That almost was the dumbass of the week. The one, and I can't remember her name. Chris, help me out there. They follow her into the bathroom with the phone. Oh, and she's a freaking nuisance to society. The politician. I cannot even remember. Anyways, she said, Michelle said, I feel like it was on the horse. It would be different than the buggy. No, in the state of Texas, that is still a DUI. Trust me, I've owned horses before, and I may or may not have been pulled over by police while riding horseback with beer in my saddlebags. So
that's what it was.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. Okay, look, tonight's trivia question is going to be really short and simple. If you followed us for a while, you will know the answer. If not, then you're not going to find this one on the internet. This is going to be one that you're going to have to know. So we started this, Chris, back in the day with Dan and George. George is now the HMFIC here at VRS, or at VRS. And so we started this years ago, back way, Lord, I think our first fundraiser was probably 8 years ago. And so we've been doing this on and off for a while. So if you've been following the show, we had to rebrand the name. We are called the TTR Rev Nation. What does the TTR stand for? And I tell you what, I will give out a koozie. I'll give out 2 koozies, a tumbler, a shirt, and a window sticker if you can get it. What does the TTR in TTR Rev Nation stand for? Michelle, you are so close. Oh, True Texas Rebels. Nope. That's close. TTR stands for the Texas Revolution. We started that years ago. Nick, Peyton, myself started that a long time ago. Let's see, who's Michelle? You and John already have stuff coming on the way. If I can ever get off to work and make it to the post office. Same with you, Chris. We get your stuff here boxed up. I just got to send it, man. It's finding time to go. I'll tell you what, Reba, if you'll message you, the True Texas Rebels, I like it. We may just change the whole thing. Maybe 2 True Texas Rebels from here on out. I'll tell you what, Reba, if you send us your address and a T-shirt size, we'll get you some gear out. How's that sound? Sound good? Waiting for the comments. I'm acting like she's on live radio with us, but but we're gonna go into the break. As always, we're gonna play some of Shannon Book's music. Please, if you're in the area, go to Round Rock, visit and support Shannon and his new band, Deliberately Broken. Shannon's just a good dude, solid dude. He's going to tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, he don't care. And that's what I love about him. Shannon is a true brother. He and I have been through a lot of crap together. So anyways, his new music is coming out. So please get on Spotify. Go out there. The links are at the bottom on the ticker. So please visit, buy, and share. And if you're in the Round Rock area, go visit him. Chris, we'll see you here in a few minutes. When we come back, we're going to talk about, are you ready for all this? The separation of church and state and Loudoun County Public Schools. All righty. We might actually have some footage for this too. So we'll see y'all here in about 5-10 minutes. Please enjoy Shannon Book's music. We're going to play 2 songs. Again, please go visit Spotify, buy, share, and again. We'll see y'all in a few.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I need to breathe just for one day, and I need to breathe, and I've got to get away. I can't deal with this, 'cause it makes me miss my soul. Maybe if I'll confess, I can lay it to rest. Let it all go. I can't sleep at night. I have horrible dreams, and all these things inside will be a part of the scene. And I can't help but think that this will never end. When will I feel my heart? Where does the peace begin? 'Cause I need to breathe just for one day. And I need to breathe, and I've got to get away. I can't deal with this, 'cause it makes me miss my soul. Maybe if I confess, I can lay it to rest. Let it all go. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. And I need to.
These days you can't get a man to work. People get married and they still flirt. Don't pledge allegiance to our flag like we used to do. Good men are willing to give their lives, while politicians take away our rights, saying they know best what's good for you. These days dads are always gone. Mama's still here, but she's on her phone. Grandma's raising the kids, and the devil is too. If you ask me, this whole world is gone to hell. I speak the truth, but these days the truth won't sell. I bleed red, white, and blue in my ways you just can't change. Wrong or right, I give my life for this place called USA. There's no other place that I'd rather live. Love my wife and teach my kids about the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm sick and tired of people putting it down. If you don't like it here, get the heck out of town. Go and find somewhere you love, it's fine with me. 'Cause we don't need people riding the fence. You're either riding with us or you're riding with them. Make up your mind which side you stand. If you ask me, this whole world is gone to hell. I speak the truth, but these days the truth won't sell. I bleed red, white, and blue in my ways you just can't change. Wrong or right, I give my life for this place called USA. Cause of the brave. Wrong or right, they gave their lives for this place called USA. If you ask me, this whole world is gone to hell. I speak the truth, but these days the truth won't sell. I bleed red, white, and blue in my ways you just can't change. Wrong or right, I give my life for this place called USA. Wrong or right, I give my life for this place called USA.
Welcome back to the second half of TTR Rev Nation. Let me get back to the comments here. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. Reba, if you'll send us your information, we'll go ahead and get you a pack out. But you have to promise to put the sticker on your car so everybody knows that you're part of the Rev Nation. You're tired of the crap that's getting shoved down our throat by the big brother here. All right, Chris, welcome back, brother. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm regular guy, joined by Chris Russell from the Daily Brief. Your show was phenomenal, and we're trying to get the word out for you, brother. You're an awesome guy and a patriot. So,
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, Reba, I will get to you. Obviously, I'm on air right now. We will get to you after the show or tomorrow, and we will get stuff out to you. Please put your shirt size in there as well. All right, Chris, one of the things that has always ground my gears is separation of church and state. Now, I do believe in that, but when you cross the line, there's something that needs to be done. And it's funny. We're going to talk about Virginia pretty much the second half of the show here because a lot of things are going on in Virginia.
Yeah, there is.
And right now, before we get to the Loudoun County Public Schools, I do want to talk about there again the separation of church and state. This weekend, hundreds of churches across Virginia are going to air an ad. And if you go on Google and you try to look it up, it's hard to find. So I got this through DuckDuckGo. I want to go. It's like a minute and 15 seconds. I'm going to play this real quick because I want people to know if you go to church, you go to church to worship God. You don't go there to cast a vote. You don't go there to be brainwashed by Big Brother. As a Christian or a Messianic Jew or a Catholic or whatever you are, if you believe in your God, you are labeled by the government because to me right now, this is just my opinion, and the opinions on the show are just that ours, so don't get butthurt. But here's the thing: is government right now to me thinks they're not thinking; they are acting in such a manner that they are your God, lowercase God, God. They have taken over or tried to take over every aspect of our lives. And when you can't even go to church and worship, there's just something wrong with that. And okay, so with no further ado, this is Kamala Harris, the VP here. This is the
Kamala Harris.
Kamala. This is the video that's going to be broadcast throughout Virginia churches this weekend in support of the gubernatorial race.
Everyone. So when I was growing up, we sang in the choir at Oakland's 23rd Avenue Church of God. We sang hymns about how faith combined with determination will see us through difficult times. And we were taught that it was our sacred responsibility to raise our voice and lift up the voices of our community. One of the most significant ways I believe that we can each use our voice is through our vote. So Virginians, you have the opportunity now to raise your voice through your vote, because it's election time. As you know, this is an important election coming up on Tuesday, November 2nd. And early voting is already underway. I believe that my friend Terry McAuliffe is the leader Virginia needs at this moment. Terry McAuliffe has a long track record of getting things done for the people of Virginia. When he was governor, in the wake of the recession, you'll remember, he brought 200,000 jobs to Virginia. Incomes went up and unemployment went down in every city and county in the state. And now, Terry McAuliffe is stepping up again with a clear vision about how to rebuild Virginia's economy for the future, to raise the minimum wage, to make health care more affordable, to give every child a world-class education. Virginians, you deserve a leader who has a vision of what is possible and the experience to realize that vision. Terry McAuliffe is that leader. In 2020, more Virginians voted than ever before, and because you did, you helped send President Joe Biden and me to the White House. This year, I know that you will send Terry McAuliffe back to Richmond. So early voting has already started, and this is the first year that you can vote on Sundays. So please vote after today's service. And if you cannot vote today, make a plan to go vote. Go to iwillvote.com.
That's just ridiculous. Catherine, thank you for joining the show tonight. I believe you're a first-time listener. Yeah, no lie, no lie. Catherine, thank you for listening. Please share the show. And Reba, thank you for sharing out the show. Okay, so hundreds of churches across Virginia are going to air that this weekend. Now, I want to know, the law clearly states, and Yvette and I talked about this a lot today, and it's not really a law. It's well, it is a law, but it's more of an IRS thing. It gets into the 501c3 separation of church and state. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think it's I mean, if she wants to say that she's sang in the choir and did all this stuff, I don't technically see too much of a problem with it. The problem that I see here is it's hypocritical on both Biden and Kamala's part, in that they this is not a part of their life that they actually adhere to. You have Biden, for instance, who met with the Pope, and no matter what you believe on abortion or don't believe on abortion, Catholics have a very strong belief on abortion, that it is a cardinal sin, but
Correct.
yet he allows it, and he doesn't even bring the issue up. I mean, you had Vatican's voting, trying to get him off the rosters so he wouldn't be a Catholic anymore.
Yeah.
So this is not a central part of their lives, but then they're going to gerrymander to the public and cherry pick these quotes and say, "Oh, well, I remember when I was singing in the choir and doing all of this stuff," and kind of use God as a prop. That's what they're doing.
Yes.
I feel it's almost they're using God as a prop. It's almost heresy, and saying, "Well,
Yeah.
I'm a good Catholic, I'm a good Christian," and they're throwing faith out there when really it doesn't mean anything to them. It
No,
doesn't.
no.
I feel as if it doesn't mean anything to these people because they're not living by what they say they believe or say they want.
It's a convenient religion.
It's a convenient religion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil for them, as far as voting. Now, the problem that I have, because she can tell all the stories she wants to, like she was in the the carriage when Martin Luther King said, this, she has just steadily lied. There's nothing but lies that come out of her mouth. And we listened to a minute and I think 16 seconds of her, and I can't believe she didn't cackle one time. Not one time did she cackle. But when the problem that I have with this, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I said that is true. I'm surprised she didn't either.
It's just to me, it's crazy because churches are tax exempt under the 501c3 rule. Now, how can we legitimately go in there? And I want to say this is borderline illegal. How can they legitimately go in there and push a political propaganda? And I don't care. Republicans have done it in the past too. And I disagree with that. I disagree with that 110%. I don't care what party you are. Church is church.
Right.
And you should not bring your political beliefs in there.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure God would frown upon that. I'm just saying, I'm far from that, but
I think there should be a clear, and I think you're right. I think there should be a clear distinction between bringing political beliefs as far as endorsing a candidate, okay, and endorsing things like moral stances. So, for instance, bringing in and talking about abortion and saying, listen, we here, because we are, Catholic, Jewish, or Christian, or even Muslim, whatever faith you are, we do not believe in abortion. So therefore, but not necessarily, I agree with you in the fact of I don't agree with pushing a particular candidate on either side, coming in and saying, well, you need to vote for Biden, or you need to vote for Trump, or, get out and vote, for the Democrats or something like that. I think that is definitely, obviously it's wrong. And it goes against, obviously, the Johnson amendment that was, will take away your 501c3 status.
The Johnson Amendment, that was 1954, correct?
50, 54 or 53, somewhere in there.
I'm pretty sure it was either way, but the law was approved by Congress,
Yep.
which prohibits a 501c3, which would encompass all churches, prohibits organizations, including churches and charities, from engaging in any political campaign activity. Now, that brings us up to circle back. Old Chucky there, the White House spokesperson. So she brought it up too. Basically, you need to vote this way in Virginia. You know, we've got the early voting going on and everything like that. Vote for McAuliffe or Macaulay or whatever the hell his name is. It's so now you've got the White House spokesperson and you've got the vice president going into churches. This is a clear violation of the law that was approved in Congress. A clear violation. So where's the accountability for that?
Yeah, and one of the things that amazes me is the double standard of the left. Because if this was happening on the right, I mean, it would be plastered all over the news. It would be all over, CNN, wherever, and they'd be saying, "Listen, they're going in their during church services, they're pushing this. The pastor's pushing this or whatever." Now, there is no law that prohibits actually using a Christian organization's premise or grounds to hold some sort of rally or something after normal service times.
Yeah.
After normal service times. But during a service time, when your normal service time is going on, pushing this type of thing, that could be seen as a major problem, as a really big problem. And it goes to the fact that you had under the Obama administration, you had the IRS literally targeting Christian and Jewish organizations. You had them targeting them.
And the Tea Party.
Yep. And now it's come full circle to, well, it applies for conservatives and Christians and Jews and all of them, but it doesn't apply for us over here on the left.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Yep.
Do as I say, not as I do. Yep.
It's just I say it every week. Their hypocrisy knows no bounds. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
They do and say as they want, but expect you to conform.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the different laws. Like I said, I print everything out. The IRS was actually questioned about this, and they have refused to respond. It's let's see here. Well, I have to be a little careful about how much political analysis I do from here, Secchi said, before saying that President Biden, of course, wants Governor McAuliffe to be the future governor of Virginia. There's an alignment on a lot of their agenda, whether it is need to invest in rebuilding our roads, rails, and bridges, or making it easier for women to rejoin the workforce. Now, I did not hear one mention of God in any of that.
And yeah, that's the thing is I think we have to be careful, because I think there is a separation to a point, but I also think that we don't want to separate God completely out of politics.
No. And I'm saying that
the forefathers intended. When you look at the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, when you look at the founding documents, you look at what John Adams, John Hancock, even the fire, the sacred fire, as it's called, that George Washington had.
Yeah.
Which there's an awesome book called Sacred Fire that was written about that. But when you look at all of these things, I think we need to be, as Reba says, I think if you're a Christian, it's your job to make your fellow Christians know who they are voting for. And I do think that we have a responsibility to do that. But I think it's done in such a way that you bring it up in moral tenure, and looking in light of morality and the moral issues that plague the nation, right? So, one of the things we do at our church is we don't endorse a candidate. We don't endorse any candidate. Obviously, we do not do that. But one thing we do is we look at the moral issues and say these people. Or we don't even look at the people. We say these are the issues. These are the moral issues, abortion, and all of these types of things. And then we say, listen, as a body of faith-filled believers, we do not support this. This is not this. This goes against our doctrine, our morality. It goes against the writ, the holy writ of Scripture. And then we look at the issues in light of those. And then hopefully the people are voting against and voting for righteousness and voting against unrighteousness,
But-
in that respect.
But Yvette brings up a good point. It says, do they forget that during Obama's tenure, there are pastors who were fined and shut down when political rhetoric was used in the pulpit? That is a fact. There's no fact checking that. That happened.
And that's one of the things that I actually liked about Trump is that he actually was letting people not necessarily push. You still can't push political candidates, but you could talk about the issues, the actual issues that affect our nation.
And I agree with that because we and Reba said it earlier. I'm sorry, Chris, but Reba, I'm sorry. Here it is, right here. She said God has to be in politics. That's what we as a nation were founded on, and that is a fact. It's not just politics at school and everything like that, but where's the line drawn? I think Republicans and Democrats have crossed that line on party lines. I think that they've both done it. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
Oh, I was just going to say, absolutely. When you look at, even when you take the Declaration of Independence, right? When you take the Declaration of Independence, you have the phrases in there, the laws of nature and of nature's God. You have the phrases in there. They are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, appealing to a supreme judge of the world. Those phrases, exactly those phrases are used in the Declaration of Independence, where they're appealing to a higher power, not the state, but to God. And that's one of the founding documents. You look at the Constitution, right? Even when you look at all of these founding documents and then look at the men themselves, John Hancock, you look at John Adams, all of these men, they were deeply faith-filled men. Some of them theists, not necessarily Christians per se, but they were faith-filled in some way, and they looked to a creator or the creator, as Christians would say, and they looked to the Bible.
It's God has been taken out of so many facets of our life right now. Not just government, but school, and well, I guess you could say one and the same. Because government is school and vice versa is the way I look at it. That's why we homeschooled every one of our children. I was the last one. We are the Brady Bunch. For those of you that don't know, Tyler was the last one that I fought tooth and nail. And once Tyler brought home, and I literally looked into the agenda that they call an education, that was it. I was done. So it's you can't really say that there's a separation between any of it anymore. And
public school is not education; it is indoctrination.
Exactly.
That is a fact. It is indoctrination. Okay, and that is why we saw last year the majority of these people running around burning down buildings and protesting in the streets and saying that this country is racist, and if you're white, you're a racist, homophobe, bigot, and all of this stuff. The people that were doing that, the majority of them that were out there were younger people. There's a fact. And where are they getting this from? They're being indoctrinated by the public school systems.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's one of the things that I think has happened as parents were actually able to see during these shutdowns They're actually able to see as they're on these Zoom meetings and all of this stuff and seeing what their kids are learning. A lot of parents started going, wait, what? You're learning
Yeah.
what? And now you have a lot of angry parents going to the school board meetings going, wait a minute, you're putting pornographic material in our kids' library and all of this stuff and calling this an education. I mean,
One of our brand ambassadors, Coley Jacks, she's a sweetheart. And Coley, if you're listening, we're going to be reaching out to you here pretty soon. Been a little busy with granddaddy duty, but anyways, she actually sent me some things that came from her public school district here in Texas. I'm not going to name the district. I was in shock. It was homosexual, pornographic material. And there again, I'm not a homophobe. I'm a wholehearted believer. Do what makes you happy, because you're going to have to pay for it in the end. And whether I agree or disagree, that's on you. You know, the Yvette and I've had that conversation many times. I said, well, what about the word of God not getting out to the tribes and blah, 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 blah. She's like, no, the tribes were taking the word a long time ago, you know? So anyways, but that's way off subject. But, you know, getting back to the if you want to live that way, live that way. I have no problem with that. What the problem that I have is it being forced on not only me, but our children. Our children are our future.
well, that's the thing. That's the thing that I take issue with. You know, I take a moral issue with a lot of this stuff. But here's the thing: if somebody wants to do it on their own time, on their own dime, in their own way, in their own house, okay, so be it. We live in a free country.
Yep.
You know, more power to you. When you bring stuff like happened recently with one of the books that was actually read at a school board meeting that was displayed for Pride Month, that had literally pornographic material in it.
Yes.
When the reporter tried to read it in the school board meeting because he was approached by two concerned parents, they actually threw him out of the school board meeting. It was so raunchy and so bad it couldn't be read in a school board meeting, but they have it displayed in an elementary school.
Roger that. And Chris, if I were to show those pictures on here right now, they would take our show off the air. I promise you.
Without a doubt, you would be censored.
Yes.
And I mean, rightly so. They're graphic. I mean, if you've gone and looked at, and these are our children.
Wow.
It's horrific what is happening. And that's why I say it's not education, it's indoctrination. And yeah, Reba, it literally almost made me puke. It made me gag when I saw it, when I thought about it. It's so disgusting.
Yes, it's beyond disgusting, but it's the agenda. We are at a point now in our country that if we, and I've said this earlier, if we don't strive to take it back, the morality and everything about our country right now, we are at the turning point of either becoming Sodom and Gomorrah and entering the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, or not only just take our country back, but put God back in our lives, our schools, our government. Because this country, whether you're an atheist, I don't care what you believe, this country was founded on the principles of the Bible and God.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
and
it was.
And for all of these people to say, well, we need to take God out. Well, you know what? The Constitution and everything this country was founded on has given you the right to say whatever you want to say. And Chris, I'm just, sometimes I'm speechless, and I don't know, you know, other than running for office, I don't know what to do. I just don't. But anyways, that brings us to the Loudoun County Public Schools. I really want to talk about this. We're getting kind of close on time, but the teen accused of sexual assault in 2 Virginia high schools. Now, the first attack was reported inside Stonebridge High School in late May, where a 9th grade girl says a boy forcibly sodomized her inside a bathroom. Then on October 6th, let's see, I'm going through my notes here. Inside Broad Run High School, another girl was sexually assaulted inside of a classroom. Prosecutors have now confirmed that it was the same boy.
And
go ahead.
And I was going to say, here's the rub on that is he attacks the girl at one school. Okay, so this teen is a teen that likes to wear dresses.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's go ahead and lay it out there. This is a transgender that identifies as a girl.
Right.
So go ahead.
He likes to wear dresses. So therefore, because he identifies sometimes as a girl or a woman or whatever you want to call him, because he identifies as that, he goes into the women's bathroom.
Yep.
He sodomizes this girl, forcibly rapes her. The school system covers it up, moves them to a different school,
and
then
Chris,
attacks.
Chris, that is a fact supported by the police and in the documents going forth prosecuting this young man.
And here's the thing: is the dad of the little girl goes to the school board meeting, gets involved, says my daughter was forcibly raped, was sodomized in your school by a kid that wears a dress and likes to run around in women's panties, and you, what have you done about it? They lie to the father, say, we have no record of anything like that happening, which was a total lie because it's supported by the police officers. And then on top of that, they throw this dad out of the school board meeting for addressing the issue and getting hot over the whole issue.
And he has now been labeled by the AG of the United States as a terrorist.
Terrorist.
I want to play this clip real quick. Let me find it. Here it is right here. This is from the local county here. So if you'll excuse me for 1 second, I want to go ahead and play this real quick.
We're learning new details tonight in 2 alleged sexual assaults inside 2 different Loudoun County schools. Some parents are calling for the superintendent's job.
That's because a teenage boy charged with the first assault was allowed to transfer to another school where he was later charged in the second. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder walks us through what happened.
The first attack was reported inside Stonebridge High School in late May, where a 9th grade girl says a boy forcibly sodomized her inside of a school bathroom. Alicia Brand is talking with News 4 on behalf of the victim's family.
And this is a really, really difficult time for them. I mean, their baby was sexually assaulted in the most heinous of ways.
While the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office was investigating, a Loudoun County School Board meeting devolved into chaos on June 22nd, where the victim's mother is heard on cell phone video telling the crowd what happened.
My child was raped at school.
Behind her, the victim's father is being arrested for disorderly conduct and obstruction of justice. The family says they were provoked by other parents. Now fast forward to October 6th. Inside Broad Run High School, another girl reports being sexually assaulted. Prosecutors confirm it was the same boy.
This is not okay to allow a child that has been charged with a rape to go back into a school.
The boy was arrested and charged for the first assault in July, but released from juvenile detention while prosecutors waited for DNA rape kit evidence to come back. Loudoun's Commonwealth's attorney says at the time they had no reason to believe the boy should have stayed in juvenile detention.
If that case had gone forward and we were not able to substantiate beyond reasonable doubt the allegations that were made by the victim, he would have been out anyway. Right, so the best decision was made with the facts that were known.
Now some parents are calling for the superintendent's job. The night of the chaotic school board meeting, the board was discussing the transgender and gender fluid student rights policy, which allows students to use the restroom of their gender identity. And a school board member asked the superintendent,
do we have assaults in our bathrooms or our locker rooms regularly? I would hope not, but I would like clarification.
to my knowledge, we don't have any records of assaults occurring in our restroom.
The superintendent told that to the board less than a month after the first attack.
His false statement on June 22nd and his failure to keep an alleged assailant out of school are far worse and merit immediate termination.
Virginia State Code requires the superintendent be made aware of sexual assaults in schools. In a statement, Loudoun County Public Schools says a public announcement at that time had the potential to identify a juvenile victim. Parents say because the appropriate action wasn't taken, there are now 2 juvenile victims. Reporting in Loudoun County, Drew Wilder, News 4.
Wow. You know, okay, so whatever his rights, this, that, and the other thing, you couldn't prosecute. I get that. You know, I'm not a prosecutor, I'm not a lawyer, but I slept in a Holiday Inn Express last night. You know, from that point of view, I can understand it. But why not keep him out of school? Why?
Well, and here's the thing is they said, well, you know, he might not have been prosecuted with the facts on hand. What were the facts on hand? They have a police report. He forcibly sodomized a girl. Okay. He went into an area he wasn't supposed to go into because the bathroom bill and all this policy hadn't been passed yet or anything like that. So what this is it's a gross miscarriage of justice is what it is. And basically they're saying because we think they might not have been justice meted out or dealt out because of this situation, we did nothing. That is what they are in essence saying. We did nothing except arrest the father of the girl that got raped. That is what they did.
That blows my mind. Okay, I understand from a prosecutor's point of view. That's great. You don't have enough to move forward on charges. You have enough to keep him out of school to prevent. They could have prevented the second one, Chris. They could have.
Here's the thing. I think they had enough to move forward with the charges. I think they had enough to move forward. And here's why I'm going to say that, despite what this lady said, because they have testimony from the victim saying she was raped. They have testimony from another girl who was assaulted at another school. Okay, so they've got 2 people that have testified. Okay, they have evidence that he was in the bathroom.
Yes.
Not just the testimony, but they have evidence that he was in. They have a history. At the very least, until it was all determined and what was going to happen, they should have kept him out of the schools.
And I agree with what Michelle says. All the schools have remote options now. That is a fact. He should have been. He should not have been allowed in school till that was resolved.
This was resolved.
That and I don't think anybody was asking. I don't even think the parents were asking. Okay, let's put him in the electric chair right now because this. We're going to wait for the rape kit to come back or what. Whatever reasoning the parents and the school board have. The accusation was made, and we're not talking about you got caught smoking out by your car. We're talking about rape. He raped 2 women, 2 young women whose lives will never be the same. That accusation is serious enough to keep them the hell out of school for at least a week or so until they can get their facts straight.
Absolutely. And you have even more than that. You have the school system who clearly, it shows in this news report and in other news reports, covered this up.
Yes.
Because it goes against what they're trying to push.
They blatantly lied, Chris.
Yes,
they lied.
They blatantly lied.
Wow.
It's one of those things where it literally, it blows your mind that
Yes.
this is happening. You have an innocent girl that was literally raped in a bathroom and a school system that covered it up.
Our children are just subject to, I almost want to say demonic, but it's
these people, these school board people should not only be fired, but they should be prohibited from ever running for a local office again.
I would even venture to say prohibited from having any interaction with children again.
Yeah.
And I know that's a far stretch, but they allowed, okay, the first victim, I'm sorry, sir. And the fact that if I were a parent, my ass would be in jail right now. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
If that was one of my girls, my ass would be in jail. Promise you.
If you've seen the video, the full video of the a lot of the internet videos of this dad, he loses his cool, rightly so.
Yes.
I would have lost it. I would have probably attacked the school board members. I would have, when he said, "Oh, we don't have any record of anybody I would have lost it.
Yeah.
I would have attacked. There's police record of it. I would have attacked them. I would have hurt them.
I agree with Michelle. They should be prosecuted.
They should be prosecuted.
Not just prosecuted, Michelle. I think they should be beat with a damn horse quirk, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not trying to be, an extremist or whatever, but to anybody who wants to censor the show, if you have children, if that would have happened to one of yours, I've got 3 girls and 2 boys, I would die for any of them.
Yeah.
And if that would have happened to any of my kids, my ass would be wearing an orange jumpsuit right next to him. I promise you.
Yeah.
That's fact.
It's incredible to me the lengths that some of these people will go to push their agenda.
Yeah. And that's all it is. That's all it is.
And here's why I say that, because they were more worried about offending the LGBT community than they were about bringing justice. Look, this is a disturbed individual that has gender dysphoria, that likes to put on women's panties and dresses. It's a known thing. They knew about this, that this kid liked this. Okay.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's a fact that's not being brought up, Chris, is they knew about this
They knew about it. And then he goes into a women's bathroom, rapes a girl, a man. This is a biological man, goes in there, rapes a girl, sodomizes her. And what they were worried about, and you can see this, is they were worried about offending the LGBT community if they ended up going after this kid. That is a gross miscarriage of justice.
Yes, it is. And there again, we are not bashing any group of people on this show. We are not.
No.
If that's how you want to live your life, live it. But don't force it on me like this boy forced himself on this girl. This young lady, these 2 young ladies, Chris, and that's what's being overlooked. It's in the news. Their lives will never, ever be the same.
No.
Ever
be the same.
And it's just incredible to me that this is just one instance. My God, if we were to look on a nationwide basis, how much is this going on?
Yeah. And that's the thing is this is one of those stories that actually happened to get out. Okay.
Yeah.
But how many times, how many times has this happened or something similar happened, and it's been covered up by the school board or by some superintendent? What is happening in our school systems, and is it being covered up on a regular basis? That's the thing.
Yes.
It's I bet there's a lot more that's happening and being covered up that parents don't know about and the public doesn't know about because they don't want it to get out. And it's a scary thing to think about. These are the people that are educating your children. These are the people that are putting in place the educational system for local places, for this one local place. But what about all of the other places around the country?
Fact. It's part of the socialization of America, and that's a whole nother subject. But there again, I've said it on the show many times. Yvette, she homeschooled all the kids, and then when I looked at it and I looked at the agenda, I'm not going to call it an education. I'm going to call it an agenda that my boy was being taught in school. I had no choice. I literally had no choice.
Yeah.
We are running out of time, Chris. God, I love having you on the show, brother. You're awesome.
Love being here, man.
Please tell everybody again where they can find you. And real quick, thank you to all the guests, Reba, Michelle, Daniel. There's just like a lot of comments in here. I can't go back and look at all of them, but thank you for joining us tonight. Please share the show. It's funny because Friday night people are able to go back out again without a mask and they're doing their thing. They're going out to eat, taking their wives out to eat. So we get listened to during the week more than we do the live show. So thank you all. Thank you all, Rev Nation, and all those that listen to Chris. If you're listening to us tonight, a sincere heartfelt thank you. We can't do this without y'all. And please join CSBC. We are joining them with VRS and the shows Did You Know, where policy meets politics, the Migrant Report, Health Notes for Real Citizens. They are an honest to God, really good network, and they're conservative, and they will fight for the rights of the United States of America. So, Chris, if you could please tell everybody again one more time where they can find your show. I sure would appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you guys can find me over at The Chris Russell Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Amazon called me, and we're on Amazon now. At pretty much anywhere. You can also go over to my website, which is a news company that we started, The Daily Brief, tdb.com. We're kicking out stories as fast as we can, and go over there. We have a lot of good sources, a lot of good things over there, a lot of good stories, everything from tackling the economy to CRT and everything in between. Whatever we can get our hands on,
yes, sir.
We try to get it out there. So, and obviously over here on the Rev Nation, we love you guys. So, you can find us there. Chris Russell Show.
Roger that. We've got a lot of good guests coming up. I was talking to Mr. Napper and Mr. Van here, Jerry Van from CSBC. And we have got, you just would not believe the incredible guest we have coming on. Wow. I'm not going to leak it out just yet. We're going to leak out a little bit at a time, but these are some very, very phenomenal guests coming up. And Chris, thank you once more for coming on tonight. Everybody, the Rev Nation family, they're out doing their thing tonight. Excuse me. Please visit go to Round Rock, visit Shannon. He's introducing his new band tonight. Or tomorrow, I'm sorry, around 15:30 is his first set, Deliberately Broken. They'll be there. Please go join them. Amanda, go to Bead Pricks, buy her jewelry. Her jewelry's phenomenal, and she does that for therapy, and also the money goes to good stuff. And we'll be back next week, same Rev time, same Rev channel with Shannon. We'll have the Most American Woman Alive and J-Rod. So we're going to finish the show tonight with another Shannon book song. Please go to Spotify, visit him tomorrow in Round Rock. Share. If you like the show, you like what we do here, do what all the cool kids are doing, share the show, share the hell out of it. That's the only way the word can get out. And remember, I need your vote running for the 143rd Congressional District here in the great state of Texas. We'll see you soon, Chris. Thank you again, and we will see y'all next week.
All right, see you, brother, man.
All right, brother.
I can't help but think that you have nothing to fear, and everything I've done has been done in vain, because you're the one that's caused all of my pain. 'Cause I need to breathe just for one day, and I need to breathe, and I've got to get away. I can't deal with this, 'cause it makes me miss my soul, and
morning, Patriots of Rev Nation. Time for the Battle 22 walk.